disappointment in the bedroom, and the inability to relax and watch a movie? Stop listening now. If you don't enjoy those things,
The Greenhouse Dispensary has 3 locations in Naples and Marco Island. No medical card needed, no purchase limits, 21 and over, money back guarantee. Be kind to your mind. Just type the Greenhouse with 3 E's into your browser and find out what the buzz is all about today.
In need of an HVAC company that provides prompt, professional solutions to keep your home in comfort all year long? Call the experts at Grand Air Services. Grand Air has been guiding your way to comfort in Southwest Florida for over 30 years, offering expert HVAC solutions, affordable pricing, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee on HVAC installations. No matter the season, they'll help you keep your family safe and
We can't get it.
for your guide to total home comfort.
I don't need to see myself.
GrandAir.com. That's Grand
Can you get it to come up, Debbie?
The Siegel Law Group is hosting a free Living Trust seminar at 10 a.m. Tuesday, March 18th at the Hilton Naples.
Because we're not seeing it on our devices.
From losing your hard-earned assets to the government, attorneys, the IRS, and yes, even greedy in-laws. All living trust plans are not created equal. And on Tuesday, March 18th, you can find out why. Seating is limited, so call now to reserve your seat at 239-510-9950. Discover how a properly designed and maintained living trust estate plan can protect your valuable IRAs, help protect you and your family from being wiped out by nursing care bills, and put your loved one's inheritance to good use. All attendees will be offered a free consultation and a special fee discount. Don't miss this free Living Trust seminar hosted by the Siegel Law Group at the Hilton Naples on Tuesday, March 18th at 10 a.m. Call now to reserve your spot at 239-510-9950 or register online at SiegelLawGroup.com/events.
Okay, I don't need to see
What matters?
Do what? Okay, that's fine. As long as we know it's on. So. Good afternoon, everybody. Before I call the meeting to order, would everybody please indulge me and take your cell phones out and put them on silent or vibrate? That would be appreciated so we don't have any interruptions during the meeting. Thank you. Okay, it is 3:03, and I'd like to call the meeting to order. Mrs. Richard, can you certify that we had adequate proof of notice, and do we have a quorum for the annual meeting? Thank you. First of all, we need to approve and maybe to have the minutes as read approved from the last year's annual meeting. That was on March 11th, 2024. I do have one correction to the meeting. Under present at the meeting, they have Mark Spadola as being a director, and it was actually Bob Fry. So we will need to correct that on the minutes as they stand. Does any other board members have any other corrections to the minutes? If not, would somebody entertain a motion to have these stand as presented to us and have a motion for approval? Motion by Jamshed Bethina to approve the March 11th, 2024 annual meeting minutes. Is there a second? Second. Second by Treasurer Rick Murphy. Is there any discussion or any further corrections? All in favor signify by aye. Nay. Minutes are approved. Okay, once again, we are always extremely lucky and blessed to have our CPA extraordinaire, Tammy Tassitano, here with her annual presentation of the Royalwood 2024 audit this year. So, Tammy, welcome. Would everybody please give Tammy a nice big Royalwood welcome?
Okay, lovely. What an introduction. Thank you. Oh, I feel short. I was afraid it was going to rain, so, ladies, I'm surprised to see the turnout with the rain, so that speaks a lot. So everybody wants to hear. So I'm Tammy Tassitano. I'm a partner with RSM. We are lucky enough to represent about 200 private clubs in Florida. for which we pull our audited information every year and publicize. So I'm going to go through a few slides with you. First, touching on Royal Wood 12/31/24 financial highlights. Once again, our audit opinion was an unmodified, otherwise known as a clean audit opinion. Club had a very nice, very strong balance sheet. Once again, these results. We've increased our assets about $800,000 this year, from 15.2 million up to 16 million. The main increase in regard to assets are our board designated funds. So we have increased from $3.2 million in designated funds to $3.7 million. In addition to a very healthy non-current designated funds, we also have a very nice positive working capital position. So when we look at current assets compared to current liabilities, current assets exceed current liabilities by $1.4 million. And that is about a $300,000 improvement from the previous year. In addition to that, we have a very low debt to equity ratio, debt being defined as total liabilities. So at the end of 2024, we had 0.29 of liabilities to every dollar of equity. Our cash disbursements for property and equipment, a very important number to look at to continue to reinvest into our amenities. We spent about $808,000 this year, up from about $328,000 in fiscal 2023. Oops, did Debbie run away? Oh. And she's my slide forwarder, Seth. Okay. So very important slide here. When I said debt to equity ratio, and I mentioned that's total liabilities to equity, we don't, once again, have any third-party debt. Very, very unusual. 81% in our group, and I should point out we fall in what's called the Southwest CIRAs, that is Royal Wood, because you're a bundled community. CIRA stands for Common Interest Realty Association. So in that bucket, 81% had third-party debt, which averaged $2,300 per member. So very positive there that we remain to be at zero in third-party debt. So moving off of the balance sheet onto the income statement, we had a nice improvement in operating revenues, about 10%, and in 2024 had $7.1 million in operating revenues. Our operating expenses held very nicely at about a 3% increase, and so we did have an operating excess this year of $362,000. Our resale capital contributions were up a bit this year. We brought in about $209,000. So of course, this is over and above our operating excess. As you all know, we did have a special capital assessment this year for our enhancement projects to the patio, pro shop, and fitness center. So that was $52,000. And then our replacement fund assessments, another $1 million. So overall, our property owner's equity increased $734,000 this year. Looking at the operating side of things, Royal Wood does continue to have lower operating dues rates, back to, again, concentrating on that Southwest CIRA group. The 2024 operating dues rate averaged $7,500. Of course, as you know, we were about $5,323. So we are running about $2,200 or 29% less from an operating dues perspective. Then, of course, in addition to operating dues, we have capital assessments. So 88% in our Southwest Sierra group have a capital assessment similar to you all, and that averages $1,200. You, of course, were at 1,288, so a little higher there, about 7%. But in addition to the annual capital assessment, that same group, 44% have an additional capital assessment. And this capital assessment is specific to debt repayment related to a renovation project. And so on average, that was another $1,300 per member. The last thing to note are joining fees. We have continued to see a boom and increasing in joining fee rates as memberships are very hard to come by, especially golf memberships. So a very nice increase in the group. Average joining fee went from $4,700 up to $7,400. So of course, we're right in line with that at $7,500. And this group historically is a 0% refundability, which is the model that all others have been moving towards. So 0% of that $7,500 is refundable. So overall, from an audit perspective, things went very well, a very strong balance sheet, very strong operating results, and positive as far as comparisons to the peer group. That's all I have, so thank you for your time, and I'll hand it back over.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. Before we let you go, are there any questions for Tammy? Thank you once again. Thank you for your insightful report as always, Tammy. Okay, moving on with the agenda here. The next part is the open forum. And first up to speak today is Andreas Heldman. Please tell us where you're from in Royal Wood. Try to keep your comments around the 3-minute mark, and please be respectful and avoid any personal attacks.
Hi, Andreas Heldman, single-family homeowner. I have 2 items I really want to address today. Hello? Okay. Andreas Heldman, single-family homeowner. I've been an owner here for 13 years. I have 2 items I really want to address today that I think all of us as owners and residents should be considering. The first one is our restaurant, which respectfully, we should not be in the restaurant business. The first, 8 years I lived here, we leased this property out. And the restaurant has been a continuing sinkhole. As many of you know, when you look at our budget and then look at the losses that we're incurring on this restaurant, that has increased our dues enormously. And I don't think we'll be able to go back in time, but I do think we can stop the losses that we have if we went out and leased this restaurant out. Now, I know the board will say that, we haven't leased it out successfully, but we've never leased it out before where we've had a minimum for membership. So you're asking a member to come, you're asking a restaurateur to come in and you're guaranteeing $500,000 right now before they even open their doors. I know many restaurateurs who would look at that and go, I'm going to get free rent and I'm going to get $500,000 before I open my doors. We need somebody who knows what they're doing. Respectfully, they're trying here. I'm not saying nobody's trying. I'm just saying we're not doing a good job of it. Even if we accept the premise that restaurants and country clubs should lose money, which I don't necessarily agree, but if I accept that premise, our losses far exceed what we should be having here. And it continues to drag down our budget and cost us more every year in dues. So that's the first item that I really think is something that we as a membership we should be should be considering, because it will help all of us. The second thing is our facilities, and many of you have heard me speak about this before, okay? Every major club, every major bundled community in Southwest Florida and Naples has increased their facilities. And what are we missing that all those clubs have added? Okay? Significant outdoor dining, okay, which we don't have, all right? Resorts, a resort-style pool, generally which offers some kind of food or beverage option, okay? An improved tennis surface. Ours is completely antiquated. So if they don't have it, they've added more courts. I'm not saying we should add more courts, but we should at least have a facility that comes up to the standards of what everybody else is offering. And dedicated pickleball courts, okay? We don't have any of these things, all right? Everybody else has done it. Is it going to take money? Yeah, it's going to take a special assessment. It is. But the bottom line is, without these items, we are not staying current with the rest of the communities that we compete against for homeowners. So it's necessary not just to offer it for the homeowners that stay here, that are here currently, but to continue to attract new homeowners. It increases all of our property values. And we continue to hurt ourselves and hurt our ability to market ourselves as a community by not addressing these. I believe the board and the Facilities Planning Committee should be coming up with, it's their responsibility to come up and present these plans. Ultimately, it will take a member vote. If a plan is presented and members vote it down, there's nothing I can do with it, about it. But I do believe that if a proper plan is put forward, that there are enough members here that would approve it. And we shouldn't be sitting back and be afraid to present that plan. And that's the sense that I get from the Facilities Planning Committee and from the board. They don't want to present something that's comprehensive because we've got a golf course update coming, or we know that the last plan didn't go exactly as planned or didn't come off the way it should be. You can't sit back and just sit tight and say, it didn't work, or we have this coming. The golf course is a completely separate entity, okay? That's something that's got to be done one way or the other. But it should not impact our ability or our thought pattern on improving these facilities on our general campus. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, next up is Mona Elias.
Can you hear me? Yeah. My name is Mona Elias. I'm with Single Family Homeowners, and I'm here to talk about stop signs and safety. And I'm just going to give you closer. I'm just going to give you some reasons why stop signs are important. In our HOA community, the presence of stop signs is not merely a traffic regulation. It is a cornerstone of safety and communal harmony. They play a pivotal role in maintaining order, preventing accidents, and fostering a sense of responsibility among residents. To help ensure pedestrian safety, that's what they do, they help ensure pedestrian safety. They enhance driver awareness and promote cautious driving behavior. They remind drivers to be vigilant and observant of their surroundings, which is crucial in residential areas where unexpected obstacles can arise. They are a reminder for drivers to maintain a safe speed and be prepared to stop at a moment's notice. They create structured environments where traffic flow is regulated and right-of-way rules are established. They promote a sense of community and responsibility and mutual respect among residents. Over a month ago, a Royalwood resident was struck while riding his bike in Lely. He is still undergoing treatment and will most likely be left with extensive brain damage. Just last week, we lost longtime Joe Clapp to a fatal accident at the entrance. It's time that we did something about it. We've given a proposal last year, and nothing has been done about it. And we went through a lot of work to get all that information and to gather everything, and the homeowners worked with me. And we presented it, but it hasn't even gone like, well, we're looking at it. It's not expensive to put up a couple stop signs and do a history. Stop signs should be at street crossings. Golf cart crossings should have a slow sign. And I just want to get everybody aware that we're trying to get stop signs in, and we would appreciate your support in doing it. Amen.
Thanks, Mona. And last on the list is Brian Healy.
Hi, I'm a single-family homeowner. I live in a beautiful house on the boulevard from Joe Looker, so everybody probably knows what that house is. I'm to reinforce what Mona said. For me, you know, it's interesting. I came from Boston, and I come down here, and I come to buy the house, and I stand in the driveway of Joe's old house, my new house, and it's unbelievable how beautiful this street is. It is gorgeous. And I stood there and said, boy, this is the place I want to live. And then I saw the 23-mile-an-hour signs, and I said, oh, this is even better. This is like a driveway coming into the community. And then after a couple of weeks, I'm like, cars are going by 40, 50 miles an hour. I mean, 23 isn't even in the realm of what the speed limit should be. I'm sure if you looked at this 23-mile-an-hour sign that puts the motion up there, all of them are above 23. And by the time they get a little momentum, they're probably 33. So the stop signs would definitely help that at Cobblestone, the corner there. And it would definitely help. I walk a lot with the dog. I'm scared to death to walk out into the crosswalk if there's a car within 200 feet, because I'm not sure they're going to stop. And in the dark, I'm not sure they could even see me, but at least if the stop sign's there, they know it's there. They're going to slow down and come to a stop. So, you know, there's a lot of things that I've heard since I've been here. I know we're not going to get the speed bumps, or at least the speed bumps aren't there. If it was me, I'd have speed bumps, cops, more of these electronic signs. But the easiest thing is, I mean, it is 23. I guess I'm baffled by why, you know, 23 is going to grow into 25, 26, 27. But I know people say it's vendors, but they're drivers that look like me. I do a lot of gardening in the front yard, so I'm always in the front yard. And without exaggeration, I don't have a radar gun. There's 50s, but there's a ton of 40s. But 23 would be pretty easy, and I think the stop signs will at least both ways, at least stop them for 5 seconds, and then they got to increase their speed from there. So that was my thoughts. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Okay, moving on to reports of officers. The President's report. Welcome, everyone, to the 2025 annual membership meeting, and to those members who are joining us back on the YouTube stream. All regular club business is suspended today, and any business for board consideration will come from our members. As already mentioned, our club suffered a terrible tragedy a week ago on Sunday evening. As most of us know, we lost Joe Clapp due to a traffic accident at our main entrance. Joe and his late wife, Faith, have been Royalwood members since 2001. For many years, Joe has served faithfully as the Cobblestone Homeowners Association president. Joe was truly one of the nicest members here at Royalwood, and I'm sure everybody here would echo that if you've ever met Joe or ever had anything to do with Joe. My regrets is I never got to play a round of golf with him, but I went to several meetings with him, and he was truly a magnificent person. Please keep their family in thoughts and prayers here over the next couple of weeks as they're struggling with this. And I would like to thank our staff for putting together his celebration of life together in 2 days, which the community supported greatly by turning out for the Clapp family. So thank you, everybody, for that. We also recently lost a former general manager, Kyle Kinney, due to health complications. I know many members considered Kyle a friend. Kyle was an integral part of our clubhouse renovations, and the members always seemed to enjoy his YouTube videos that he put on while the club was under construction. So please keep the Kinney family in your thoughts and prayers as well. Recapping the past year, as already mentioned, we did updates to the patio area and the pro shop, and those were completed last April. We've got the noise reduction ceiling clouds installed in the grill room, and we had a bar rail installed last fall. We said goodbye to our director of agronomy, Kevin Ackerman, who left to pursue another career, and we welcomed a new course superintendent, Ori Andrews, and his assistant, Richard Vargas. They were challenged immediately with completing our summer maintenance here at the club, and also dealing with damage from 2 brushes with 2 hurricanes that luckily did not do any significant damage to the properties and the grounds here at Royal Wood. But the golf course was soaked twice with saltwater spray from both hurricanes, which damaged a lot of the turf and a lot of the plantings all around the neighborhood. Our very cold January caused significant turf damage to our golf course. Ori and his staff worked diligently to restore the turf, and once again, Royal Wood is one of the most beautiful courses in Southwest Florida. So I'd like to thank Ori and his staff for making that turnaround in the last 6 months, and please feel free if you see him out and about on the golf course to thank him as well. The board passed a responsible budget for 2025 in October, and Treasurer Rick Murphy will report on a successful 2024 budgeting results here shortly. Last month, the board approved a letter of agency for the M Consulting Group to possibly negotiate a new contract with Summit Broadband. There is no cost for the service, and we are not under any obligation with them or Summit for a new contract. Friday, April 11th at 1 p.m., there will be an informational meeting here at the clubhouse for the M Consulting Group, and the CEO of Summit Broadband will be here as well to explain the proposal and the upgraded services that they may have in line for us if we would decide to go that direction. This will be the first of 2 informational meetings that we will hold. We would like to have the first one this month sometime, but their schedules and our schedules here at the clubhouse didn't allow it. So the first one will be April 11th. Skeptical? You bet we are. We've went through many Summit issues here the last couple years, and Mrs. Richard can attest to all the phone calls and emails she got of all the problems. And so they're going to have to show us something, and they're going to have to promise something. And if we would decide to go that way, they're going to have to prove it to us. Our current Summit contract doesn't run out till April of 2028. So like I said, we will look at this proposal when it comes in. I've told the consulting group that the board at the very least needs to see this proposal in advance. So maybe we can hold informational meetings for our own HOAs prior to the big meeting here at the clubhouse where everybody can pick their brains. So keep that date on the calendar. After the tragic accident a week ago Sunday, General Manager Debbie Richard contacted the office of our County Commissioner, Rick Locastro. We informed him of the accident and asked for help with the intersection so this will never happen again. He referred us to Collier County Chief Traffic Engineer Tony Kahaja. Unknown to us, the county has been planning a redesign of the intersection for a while. And it's up on the screen here. And let me just turn around real briefly and make sure I'm orientated right so I can talk about this. And we're on the top, right? Correct. Okay, as you can see on the slide, Royalwood is the top, and Augusta Boulevard, or the Lely entrance, is directly across from us. With the redesign, both communities will only be able to make right turns out of their community. You'll no longer be able to make left turns across traffic. Also, you will see there's medians for the turn lanes there as well that will separate it, and once you're in that turn lane, the median will prevent you from diverting to another direction. And I'm sure many of you have had close calls turning left into Royalwood by people going west on Rattlesnake, and at the last second, they've decided, oh my gosh, I'm in a turn lane, I don't want to do that, and they veer off back onto the Rattlesnake hammock traffic. I know I've almost been hit twice out there by people being confused, and I'm sure many of you have been as well. So, one of the other benefits to this intersection is you'll be able to clearly see around all the landscaping that is currently very difficult to see when you're turning in there, because where you stop to make your left-hand turn, you're past the island. So you're not looking through trees and grasses and other vegetation. So you'll have a crystal clear view of what you have to do when you turn into Royalwood. The proposed change is almost completed, and a public information meeting will be held sometime in April. Tony will keep us informed on where and when the meeting will be conducted. We will need membership attendance at this. We need Royalwood to come out to represent our community, and it would be a nice remembrance for Joe as well. Lely residents are going to fight this. And if you've been here any amount of time, Lely has always tried to stop any redesign of this intersection because they want the ability to turn left onto Rattlesnake Hammock and go west. Under this proposal, they can only turn right out of Lely. They will have to go up to the light. They will have to go through the light, go up the road about 120 yards, make a U-turn, and come back through the light so they can go west on Rattlesnake. So you can imagine they're not going to be happy with this, but it is a very needed change. For us, all we have to do is turn right out of the main entrance. We go up Rattlesnake about 100 yards, and we can very safely make a U-turn there and start heading east on Rattlesnake. Or if you'd like to, we can use the side gate out here and go down Santa Barbara and make a left at the light and continue down Rattlesnake that way as well. We're going to post this redesign on our website so everybody has a chance to look at it. We have another drawing like this as well. It's in color, so maybe you can see it a little easier with some of the plantings that this picture doesn't show. But this eliminates left turns out of both of our communities. I'm sorry? Oh, and there's the color one. Thank you, Debbie. So you can see what I was talking about as far as the turn lanes and being able to see past the medians and all the vegetation and trees in there. Eliminating left turns out of both neighborhoods will make the intersection ultimately safer. So stay tuned. Usually they've had these meetings in the past over here at the Lutheran Church, correct, Debbie? And so we will let you know when and where that meeting will take place. So, thank you. Moving on with director reports. Next up is our treasurer, Mr. Rick Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me just turn the mic on. Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to see so many people turned out today. Thank you all for taking the time to be here with us this afternoon. I'm going to try not to be redundant with Tammy Tassamito's report earlier, but I do want to call out a few things and accentuate some of the really positive results as part of my report. And as Tammy referenced, our club is in very strong financial condition, particularly as compared to some of our peers in the area. The final audited results that Tammy shared with you were very consistent with the preliminary financial results I shared with the board and the membership at our January board meeting. So the slide deck that is posted to the Royalwood website after the January meeting, all of that data is still very relevant if you want to go back and take a look at that. There are a few areas that I do want to accentuate, as I mentioned, and first is the club's operating cash and cash reserves balances at the year end. Both of those increased about 15% over the previous year. Again, strengthening our balance sheet that Tammy referenced. Tammy also referenced that our actual revenues for 2024 exceeded total operating expenses by about $362,000. We had a budget of about $55,000 in surplus, so that is about $307,000 greater than what we had budgeted for a surplus. And again, not to repeat myself from the previous meeting, but the Finance Committee recommended last year that we take the 2024 surplus and future year surplus out to 2028 and actually direct those funds into the reserve balance specifically for the golf course project, continue to deliver on objective on trying to avoid a special assessment for that project. So we're off to a good start there, as well as the incremental amount that we provided in our annual dues for the cash reserve specifically for that project. Although inflation did subside during 24 versus 2023, our management still faced challenges in dealing with cost increases with crucial operating expense categories and retaining and recruiting staff. We needed to be more competitive in our salaries and wages to attract and retain our talent. And we've been able to successfully do that in most cases. Our management team has also faced some challenges in addressing evolving needs of our diverse membership. As you all know, there's been a sizable turnover in our membership, and our demographics across our membership have changed quite a bit with varying needs. Our management team has tried to listen, to send surveys out, to understand the needs and wants of the members, which is great. However, it did indicate that there is diversity across our membership, surprise, surprise, in what they would like to see. And these challenges have contributed to changes in our operating expenses to address some of these needs, including things like expanding access to our club facilities, particularly our dining facilities. We've heard that our members want our dining facilities open more hours than we had in the past. That comes with a cost, but the team has been able to address those challenges and overcome some of those cost factors attributable to it, as evidenced in our operating dues. Now, Tammy mentioned that our operating dues and showed a slide that showed our operating dues of about $5,300 in 2024 compared to the operating dues of other clubs of our size and of like amenities in this area. I believe Tammy mentioned that Royalwood was about 24% lower, but I'm going to have to check the numbers, but $7,500 was the amount of operating dues for other club areas. Our operating dues for 2023 were $5,300, so that's about a 41% difference. So our operating dues are 41% lower than the average operating dues for other like clubs. I want to circle back with Tammy to make sure my calculations are correct. So whether it's 24% or 41%, we are very, very competitive in our due structure with other clubs. And as you also saw and heard from Tammy, we are very strong when it comes to our capital reserves. The amount of money that we contribute each year to capital reserves to make sure that we have the funds to replace existing assets and the golf course are also distinguish ourselves. So I would like to just take a moment at this point to ask you to please join me in applauding the commendable efforts that Debbie, our GM, her management team, and the Finance Committee have done during the course of 2024 to achieve these results. So Debbie and team, congratulations. Okay, shifting gears a little bit into 2025, the club's Finance Committee has begun planning for the preparation of the club's 2026 budget. The first major milestone for that process is the preliminary joint meeting of the Finance Committee and the Master Board, which will be held on March 31st, so in a couple of weeks. We'll be seeking input from all of Royalwood committees on opportunities to enhance club amenities, revenues, and operating cost efficiencies at the meeting prior to the preliminary budget being prepared later in the summer. This meeting on March 31st will be open to all members to listen and provide some feedback on the discussion that takes place. After this meeting, on the March 31st meeting, Shirley Hingston, our chairperson of the Finance Committee, will be stepping down from the committee. And again, I want to ask if everybody could share with me the applaud for Shirley, who has been a tremendous leader in the Finance Committee for a number of years, and we're going to miss Shirley. But Shirley, thank you very much for everything that you've done. So in closing, I'd just like to provide a quick update on our 2025 financials. And although we're only 2 months into the fiscal year, we're off to a pretty good start. Our overall net earnings are better than planned through February, with most functional areas showing positive results to plan. A more detailed update will be provided at the April 14th board meeting, where there will be a presentation on our Q1 results compared to budget. So again, fantastic year in 2024, which actually followed a very strong year in 2023, and we're really hoping that we can continue that progress that has been made and continue to provide a tremendous value to every member here in Royalwood. That concludes my report, Mr. President. I would welcome any questions at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. It's insightful as always. Thank you. Good job. And before I get to the rest of the directors, we're going to have our general manager report from Debbie Richard. Debbie?
Hi, everybody. I knew that Mr. Norbaum was going to do a fantastic job on speaking, so he took all of my lines. And then I knew that Mr. Murphy was going to take more. So what I decided to talk about today is what it is to be a board member. To be on the board, on the Master Board, you have to have strong convictions, as it represents not just the community, but also the future members who will join us in the years to come. Is it not close enough? Okay, sorry. So while there have been times when the boards listen to membership preferences, history has shown that may seem best at the moment is not always in the club's best interest in the long run. There have been instances of boards that demonstrated great foresight, as this board has. For example, I'm not aware of any other club that managed to set aside reserves for a complete golf renovation. There have been rumors suggesting that the board mishandled this issue, but in reality, not only did they didn't drop the ball, they carried it all the way down for a touchdown. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their season here at Royalwood. Since much of our planning for upcoming season takes place during the summer, I will be providing updates on what's in store for next season so people can plan ahead of time. Just a reminder, there's no fishing in the lakes. I have purchased signs to ensure this is clear. If you see someone fishing on business hours, please call me or the pro shop. If you see someone after hours, call the non-emergency police number. The same rule for solicitors. I'm happy to run out anytime someone calls me to say that there's a solicitor on property and make sure that they leave the property ASAP. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our new board members that will be coming on, Mr. Jeffrey Clark from Amberley and Mr. Timothy Shields from Cranbrook. I'd also like to express my sincere gratitude to President Gary Norbaum and Director Bob Fry. Mr. Norbaum has done a remarkable job in a role that has a lot of responsibilities, and the staff will truly miss seeing him on a daily basis. Just have a little gift for Mr. Norbaum to thank him for his serving time. Even though he is leaving us, he is not leaving Royal Wood, which we're very thankful for. So, thank you.
So I guess I'm supposed to look at these now? Okay. Yeah. I got assistants here to take care of opening the presents for me. It's kind of cool. Oh, Royal Wood, presidential Manhattan glasses, I'm sure. One of the very few perks I get with this job, I have a drink named for me out of the bar. It's called the Presidential Manhattan. So all you have to do is tell Janet or Jackie or Christine, they know how to make them. So if you like Manhattans, you can get that at the bar. So, and hopefully about an hour I can have a couple. So there we go. And my other surprise here is and something to put the a very nice decanter to put the fixings in for one of my presidential Manhattans. So thank you very much. Thank you all. As soon as we clear the table here so we can carry on. Okay. Reports of all other officers. Does any other officer have a report today for the annual meeting?
Hello, Gary.
Yes, sir.
Before we carry on, I'd like to offer my personal thanks to you for your services. You did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Any comments from any of the board members and directors? Okay, that was easy. Except that part, that was too much. Anyway, okay, reports of committees. I was looking at the committees this week, and I bet most of you don't realize that we have 19 master board committees and golf league boards here at Royal Wood. 19 entities that help make our club great. And that takes about 120 members to make this happen. So, I guess I'm just kind of blown away that everybody puts that much time in for Royal Wood. That's what makes our community great. It makes our Royalwood hum and all the fun that we have here. A lot of it has to do with all our committee members. So thank you again for doing this. So first up today for committee reports, it's going to be the two-headed monster approach, which will be Jim McEachern from the Golf and Greens Committee, and he is also the chair of the Appreciation Day Committee. Jim.
I was given a time limit by the board. But first, I want to thank Gary and the board. We spent a lot of hours. And, all right. I'm going to start on the golf side. This has been a very busy golf season, especially January through March. Hopefully not too many people are being shut out. I haven't had too many reports. That's a good thing. The Pro Shop is doing an excellent job. Wyatt gave me a little report that in 2024, in January, we had 5,281 rounds, which is a lot of rounds for an 18-hole golf course. This year, in January, we've had more, 5,549 rounds, which is an increase of 268 rounds. So we all have to be aware that when you put so many people on a golf course, there's going to be a backup. I always hear, there's a big backup on number 12. Well, it's not an easy hole. But maybe some people don't realize, we'll put out notices on the GPS system, is when you arrive on the green on number 12, all right? And there's a couple groups waiting. Don't finish putting, stand to the back of the green and wave up your friends. This does pass, this makes it go a little bit faster on the hole. I also want to compliment my vice chair, Gina Murphy. She's also the vice chair and the secretary, which is a tough job, especially on the secretary's part. She does all the reports, right? And I don't know how she can remember them, but I'm glad she does. So Gina, thank you. So let's carry on now. This meeting I'm reporting on is February 19th, started at 3 o'clock. The January 15th minutes were approved unanimously. We had a guest speaker, Joe Littlemore, and I don't know if Joe's here. There's Joe. I know Joe would be here. For the last 3 years, he's been on my back on this new type of fertilizer, biochar. Biochar? All right. So what I gather from this, we had him speak at our meeting. Ori Andrews was here. And it's a product that basically the cows like, right? and the farmlands like. And it's supposed to improve the soil. So Ori's going to look into it. Kevin Ackerman looked into it. Wasn't given much thought on it. So we at the Golf Committee we welcome anyone to come in and speak. If they have some good ideas, we'd like to share with membership. So thanks, Joe, for coming in, and we'll see what we can do here. If it can save us money, we'll really look into it, all right? All right, Joe. Mindy Norbaum, our 18-hole president. Thanks, Mindy, for the report. Thanks for the year. Ladies 18-hole is a very busy league, 96 members. They did these fantastic charity events out. The last one was to benefit the Youth Haven, which is a place where traumatized, abused, neglected, and homeless children and teens are provided a safe harbor. The Youth Haven is on the left side of hole number 15. You probably hear them playing basketball and having some fun over there. Also, the ladies, this is the first year they've had the Interclub tournament. The Interclub League that was captained by MJ Crowley and Terry Allen. And these two teams, they go to have friendly competition at a few local golf courses. If I can remember, I think they go to, help me out. Naples Lakes, Hammock Bay, the Rookery, and Naples Lakes. Thank you. And they had a really good start for the season, so they're building on for next season. So thanks all the ladies who competed for Royal Wood. Danny Jones's report. Danny's the president of the Men's League. Let's give Danny a little, I don't know if Danny's here. Danny's been in that position for a few years now. There's 212 members in the Men's League. And they had the annual lunch on March 18th. A lot of tournaments. I'll get into the tournaments a little later. Not all of them. I don't want to be the person that's held up anyone for not eating today. Okay. But I'm so glad I can see a lot of people, you know, raking the sand traps, fixing the ball marks. You know, a few years ago, we had a committee and we brought in the GPS systems. I think that helps everyone out. And the 9-hole president is Susan Stahl. Sue, thank you. There's 146 members in the 9-hole. It's really a great group. They recently had a tournament with some other clubs, 15 clubs in the area. A lot of charity events that they have throughout the year. So thank you, Suzanne. Al Hoffman is the president of the 9-hole league, men's league. And also, we have a couples league that started a few years ago. We average 86 players in the couples league, which is tremendous. And in the second year, there's one more couples league coming up. But the champion for the second straight year, Jeff Johns and Holly Vandervoort. So congratulations again. If they win it one more time, they're going to get the champion's belt. All right. I've had a couple new events added this year on the men's and ladies' side. This is the Royal Cup single and the Royal Cup team matches. One match just ended. It was the ladies 18 Royal Wood team match. And the champion went right down to the 17th hole, if I can remember. And the champion on the ladies' side is Linda Galati and Mindy Naubaum. And their opponents were Angie Tedeschi and Marie Paraway. So congratulations to them too. I want to skip back to Ori Andrews, our superintendent. Came here, like Jerry Norbaum said, it was a tough start. Then the cold weather came, all right? Putting his group together. His group is at full group, 19 on the green staff. Just give you what he does. His crew mows the greens 7 days a week. They do 3 days on the tees and fairways, along with the applications. I have to go down and see him this week. One of the trade shows he brought back is a device that will help the maintenance staff fix the ball marks. It's a device about the length of a golf club, a little device, so they can just stand, so they can just stand up. So there's a little hook on it. So the next meeting I'll bring one up, or you can go down and oh no, they're too busy. Don't go down to see them. You'll blame me. All right. So I want to finish this with, well, on the golf side, we just concluded the men's club championship and the ladies club championship. It was held on 2 consecutive days last week. It was 36 holes gross play, not net, gross. On the ladies side, I'm going to mention the top 4. I believe the top 4 were probably within 5 or 6 strokes. Coming in 4th place, Holly Vandervoort. Third place, MJ Crowley. Second place, and she had the best score of the second round and almost pulled this off. And she has been the club champion, I know, at least 10 times, but she just fell a little short. Sue Fontaine. And our 2025 Ladies Club champion, Terry Allen. Now turning to the men's side. A one-time club champion came in 4th, just 4 strokes back. Mike Murphy. Mike? Third place, or tied for second, the president. And I thought I was going to give him a nice going away present. He fell a little short, but he won't have the pressure on next year. Mr. Gary Norbaum. Now coming in second with the best score of the second round, he came all the way from 8th place to fall a little short by a couple strokes is Kenny Ludwig. Kenny, where are you? Maybe next year. And our 2025 men's club champion, a new face in the crowd, shooting gross scores from the blue tees. We had the blue tees this year. It was a good challenge. 76-77, Mr. Tim Shields. Timmy. I call him the quiet man. Don't play him for money. You won't have money. All right, I think that's enough on the golf side. The last board meeting, I'm going to have something sent out from the pro shop for all the champions, men's and ladies. I probably forgot one or two, I'm sorry, but I'll make it up with a mass email out to everyone. Okay. Appreciation Day started in 1995 to benefit the club in different areas of enhancements. It was called the Sadie Hawkins Day. Since that day, unofficially, it's raised about $400,000. Most recently, it's basically twofold. Golf side, 8 o'clock shotgun, 1 o'clock shotgun, a lot of prizes out there. We had the pros out there last year, beat the pro, putting contest, closest to the pin, so on and so forth. Whoever plays on that Saturday, March 22nd, it's a donation. You charge $30, but it goes back into the club. Where has the money gone the last few years? We put in $12,200 into the lighting coming in. So that enhances the club. Year before, we put about $13,000 into the atrium of new shades, some more money. And if a person wants to see a whole list, Jessica has a whole list there. We do have a goal this year. A lot of people will say, well, where's the money going this year? Well, we have $9,300 in the fund, and I'm trying to really push this, especially on the raffles, is we sat down and we looked at a clock, and most people know what the clocks are on the big golf courses, also at universities, downtown, and I don't know if we can do it, raise enough money this year, but also we looked into having pavers, like memorial pavers around the clock. Where's the clock gonna go? Right now, it's going to go by the tennis courts where it's dug up. The electrical is already there because the lighting for the tennis courts, the lights are going to go up. Those lights are going to come down. Those lights are being, some people are complaining that the lights are shining at night into their bedrooms. So that wasn't a good thing. But also, Gina Murphy, she's the head of the volunteers. We're looking for a few more volunteers, so please contact Gina, and that might just be to, hand out golf balls, help on the tees, things like that. But her committee has done a great job. So Appreciation Day, we're really trying to push this year. But, okay, you've had enough of me, I know that. But thanks, everyone. And thanks, Gary, all your time.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, next up is the Architectural Review Committee, and the chair of that committee is Mr. Jim Rayner. Jim?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Just for the record, Mr. McEachern took some of your time, so.
Well, I was calculating that, and I think I'm down to, Mrs. Singston gave me 2 minutes, so we'll see what we can do. This is sort of this is a bittersweet meeting always, because there's a transition. People leave the board. There's a transition, I guess, with all the committees. Unfortunately for ARC, we were appointed earlier, so we're stuck where we are. We're not sure who our new liaison's going to be. We have a meeting tomorrow. I guess we'll find out later today, and we'll see how that works out. But it's also bittersweet because of people that we've lost, and you can't go through the list of everybody we've lost. But talking about Kyle Kinney, Kyle's parents were original owners here. They were neighbors of mine over in Amerly, going back to 1990. Ed and Burl Kinney, and then we have Joe Clapp. I mean, I got to know Joe a lot. He was up in Boston. He was battling a disease, and he beat it. But while he's battling his disease, he's still worrying about how to resolve some issues in a fair and non-punitive way. He gave us a lot of help. He came to a lot of meetings and offered suggestions to us about how we deal with, especially the condos, and we took a lot of what he said to heart. And we've made some changes on it. The fast track program we talked about before, the new resolution to leave the condos alone when it comes to their interior landscaping and beautification and trees, which will reduce to writing. We have to reduce that to writing, and that'll be coming out in the next week. But it sort of goes, when you look at people around here, there are a lot of original owners still here. There are children of owners who are here. There are grandchildren of original owners here. There are children and grandchildren of second owners here. There's something about Royal Wood that's extremely special. And otherwise, we wouldn't have the continuity and the love for this place. And that's what we all try to do. We try to keep this place looking as beautiful as it can be. In a respectful way in dealing with everybody. So hopefully we don't fail in that regard too often. As part of the transition, all the elections that took place earlier, there's going to be new presidents and vice presidents of the condo associations. We don't always get the news right away, and if we have to wait to the book to get it, then we won't get the information until September. So I've talked to Jim Travers. He's a new president over in Amherst, and they have a lovely meeting room, and I'm going to get together with him over the next couple of days and come up with a time to invite all the presidents and vice presidents of all the condo associations so we can get together and talk about issues that relate to the duties, responsibilities that exist between the condos and the HOA. Mr. Pusinelli, raised a couple interesting questions, at a meeting last week. So we were going to see what we can do to try to air everything out and come to as much of a resolution as we can. Now, the old expression, time flies when you're having fun. I mean, this is the middle of March right now. We're going to be losing a lot of snowbirds. They're going to be leaving. Now, if you're in a single-family house and you're leaving, say at the end of April, sometime in May, this is time to get a lot of stuff done. If you have lawn maintenance, if you're going to start putting in your new lawn, this is probably about the time to do it. It takes 30 to 45 days of daily watering to get the lawn, the sod solidified. So it's time to get that done. I've noticed that there are about 3 or 4 homes that have carved out dead areas and have planted new grass. So we love to see that, and they're doing it without any notice from us, because, as I said before, we are really a self-policing community. There's rules and regulations, but the big thing is keeping everything nice and neat and clean and fresh. So you don't need to get a letter from us or a call from us to do that. So the self-policing works as much as possible. That being said, the board in the January meeting, passed a rust standard. Now, with the rust standard, all the rust was supposed to be eliminated, single-family homes, mostly because of the wells, by February 1st. But that really wasn't something that was in the cards because of the late passage. I'm not even sure how many single-family homeowners are even aware of that. But we did an inspection. We haven't filed a report yet. So rather than insisting on having it cleaned by 15 days after the 1st, we're holding that in abeyance. We're going to be sending out a friendly letter to people saying this is what we've seen, and we'd like to have this cleaned up by another inspection early in April, so that everything is cleaned to the extent possible before people start exiting here. Our general manager would prefer that we only do cleanups twice a year. So even though we have the new standard calls for quarterly inspections and cleanup, it's quite feasible that we can get by maybe with 2, and it's less intrusive on everybody. So we'll offer some help if people reach out to us. The other thing for the snowbirds is if you leave, if you're in the lawn program, and I want to thank Bill Lindley. Bill Lindley started this program, I don't know, 3, 4, or 5 years ago, and he continues to run it. And he does a magnificent job doing it. If we run across, say, weeds, those darn white weeds that keep trying to pop up, and which are a continuing battle. If there's somebody if somebody's on that lawn program, we don't even have to call the owner. We just call Bill, and he can send somebody out for a spot treatment. He does a lot of work, and we really appreciate that. Anybody that's not in the program, then you're going to be probably getting letters from us or emails from us, and you're going to have a short turnaround. So I hope the people, single-family homeowners who leave for a substantial period of time, I hope they have like a property watch, somebody that come in and make decisions. Last year there were a number, probably more than a handful of houses where the sprinklers, went whacked out, and despite telephone calls, it was taking up to 10, 15, up to almost 30 days to get them fixed. And by that time, lawns were burned out, and as soon as the lawn burns out, then the weeds are going to be coming in. So it's unsightly to have the lawns, and it's even worse when the weeds start creeping in. So if anybody needs help with that, they really should have somebody that's going to attend to it. If not, if it's a sprinkler issue, we have some great people here on site. Juan is a treasure. Juan is a treasure. You contact him, he comes right over, and he'll get things fixed. Sometimes the landscapers leave a lot to be desired in terms of their reaction to dead sprinklers. So that's about all I have to say. We're going to have a meeting tomorrow, and just for the record, Amberley, some properties on Amberley were listed. I've already talked to Mr. Picott, but that's going to be taken off the list while we see what we can work out. And to the extent that any of my text messages, telephone calls, or emails accelerated Mr. Norbaum leaving the board, I promise that the next president will be relieved they will have a reduction in those manners of communication. But thank you, Mr. President. You've been extremely cooperative with us, and we couldn't have asked for a better leader. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. I was warned by a previous president of the club. It said, always be careful when Jim calls you because you're going to lose 20 or 30 minutes of your time. But it was a pleasure speaking to you every time, Jim. So thank you, you and your committee, for all your hard work. Okay, next up is the Facilities Planning Committee, Mr. John Alessandrillo. John? If you can.
It just has a minute.
Get the prize.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be brief, I promise. You know, the first project I want to talk about is been in the making for 4 years. And so I think it's time to present it as a completed project, one ready for approval, hopefully. It's called Pickleball, and we've evaluated every option possible. And I think that we've come to the conclusion, other than spending $500,000 on a totally new court over by the fitness center, it might be better to have one close to home. That project, if we are able to use the reserve that are already available, it would be about a $20,000 new cash to get this thing done. So I'm hoping that the board can come to a conclusion to get this approved. We could have it done over the summer, and it would be ready for play when we return here, both tennis and pickleball. I also learned this week that pickleball has become so popular, and the clubs that we compete with, they now have tournaments. They're running back and forth and spending money in both places and having lots of fun. So enough about pickleball. We had 3 projects that last month I said that we're going to consolidate them under a facilities improvement. And I don't have much of an update on that one, but next month I hope to have something more detailed that I can share with you. And also the last one that we had was the gate, and that is still up in the air. Still trying to find out legal grounds and what we can do. So until then, I don't have anything else to say, but I do want to thank the members of this committee, Karen Tibbetts, Robin Murphy, Jeff Clark, and Barbara Lewis, and Robert Dusa, who put in a lot of work, a lot of hours, and to formulate all these things and come up with the budgets for these projects. So thank you. I told you I'd be brief, so I'm out of here.
You win the prize so far, John, for the quickest report. So, okay, next up will be our retiring chair of our Finance Committee, Shirley Hankston. Shirley?
Good afternoon, everyone. Gary, what's the prize? And I'll beat John.
A drink?
No, I had like an hour presentation, but Rick Murphy stole most of my thunder. And basically, the Finance Committee works on the budget preparation every year, the audit, and monthly we review the financials and review all the bank reconciliations. as Rick announced earlier, I'm retiring. I don't like to call it retiring. I'm moving on from the Finance Committee. I'll probably find another committee to work on. It's just, you know, after you do something for several years, you need a change. But unfortunately, we have two other members that are thinking of leaving. Well, one has already left the Finance Committee. Another will leave at the end of the year. So just for a show of hands, how many people in the room have financial experience? Rick, make sure you're looking at that. All right, how many of you might be interested in serving on the Finance Committee? You get to know everything that's going on financially in the club, so it's interesting for that. But it is a lot of hard work at budget time. So if you are interested, you can contact me or any of the board members. Following this meeting, they do an organizational meeting where they'll elect a new president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. So we won't know who the new board members are, but you can contact any of them. And I strongly suggest you get involved because we need some new ideas, new blood in these committees. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. You're going to be sorely missed in this community for all your contributions over the year to looking over our finances here at the club. So thank you. Moving on, I'm just going to mention some committees. I probably won't give reports, and I know this one won't. This one probably did nothing this year. What a great job that could be to be a committee member of that. But that was the Finding Committee, who's composed of Jim McEachern, Carl Lombell, and Karen Tibbetts. So thank you for volunteering for the committee, but thank goodness you didn't have to do any work. So that's great news there. And next up is the Fitness Committee. And that will be Karen Tibbetts. Karen?
Good afternoon. I guess I'm going to be reporting in that same vein of retirement. But over the past season, we have offered a variety of fitness classes with attendance varying across different sessions. Body sculpting and yoga have remained the most popular among the participants. Our current vendor, Fit Forever, has continued to provide excellent service, and we recommend retaining them for the next season. The committee will continue to evaluate, adjust class offerings based upon instructor availability and scheduling needs. For the financial overview, our fitness income to date has been $1,355. We've paid the instructors $4,200. The equipment and maintenance of our existing equipment remains a priority. Assessments and recommendations for any necessary repairs, replacements if needed, or additions will be reviewed for next season. The Fitness Committee has been in existence since 2021. Original and current members include John Higgins, Frank Damiano, Dorothy Allard, Barbara Beach, Patty Lombell, and myself. Our initial task was to select the equipment for the gym and aerobic room, establish fitness classes, and provide ongoing oversight and recommendations to the Master Board. We have made significant progress from our humble beginnings in a small fitness space and holding classes in the dining room. We hope the board and the membership have been pleased with our efforts and accomplishments. As we look to the future, we believe it's time for new members to bring fresh ideas and continue the committee's success. All of our current members, except for John Higgins, will be stepping down as of March 31st. John will remain on the committee to assist and support the new team moving forward. Anyone who is interested in becoming a member on the Fitness Committee can contact any one of us, and we will pass on your interest to the Master Board for further information. Thank you for the privilege of being part of the development and growth of our fitness center and programs. It has been a rewarding experience to contribute to the community's health and wellness. We look forward to seeing its continued growth and success under a new chair and committee members. Thank you from our entire committee.
Thank you, Karen. I think everybody in Royalwood would share that we have a great facility here. And thank you to you and your team for putting this together in the past and continuing to make it a great place where we can stay in shape. And hopefully I can get in there here in the near future because I won't have to go to meetings all the time, so I won't have an excuse anymore. So thank you, Karen. Moving on down the line, Health and Safety Committee, I'm not sure if there's a report. Bob, do you have a report today? Thank you, Bob. Bob Piraway.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody on the board. Congratulations on your retirement, Gary. I just want to let you know that we have representation in each community. So I represent Andover. Lane Sanders, who's my right-hand person, she's the homeowners. We have Dr. Bill Heffrick in Cranbrook, Mary Ann Kakowski in Amberley, Peter Hansen in Cobblestone, and Pam Bethia in Bloomfield, and Laura Abar in Amherst, and they do a great job. What we do is we work for the board, we make recommendations, that's all, recommendations, but we listen to you guys. So if I have an email, if I get sent an email and someone's complaining about speeding or speed humps, or we want a gate, or we want this, then we discuss it, and then we make recommendations. So when we came back after the summer, we don't stop during the summer, because we take phone calls during the summer, we do research during the summer, and we try to make everyone happy. So when we came back in November, I made a little bit of proposal, like, can we maybe stop talking about, every one of our discussions is we need a gate or we need speed humps. So I said, we can't vote on that. We can't do any research on it. So we need to let it go out to the public. So we discussed maybe putting some questions together and send it out for a survey. So we worked on that a little bit at that time. And then as we went on, that same day, I met with Mona and Buddy from the vice president, and Mona from the president, and I met with them privately in the library, and they put their concerns about speeding, because speeding is a problem here. It's when we have all these cameras done, 67%, the record is 67% of the people obey the law. The other 30% are going over 40, 45 miles an hour, and it's dangerous. So they presented it to me about these stop signs, maybe a couple of stop signs at intersections, and so I started looking at it, and then I brought it back to our committee to talk about maybe if we could do that. Then I thought to myself, why don't we, because we've been looking at we wanted to get a crosswalk right over here at the entrance as when you're coming from Ashton Court or Andover, like myself, we walk up there, we cross over there, and there's nothing sometimes we get stuck in the island, and we have to wait the cars coming like that. So we figured maybe we could add this with the stop signs in the crosswalk. So we discussed it, we had some discussion about it, and eventually I did make a formal proposal, and I sent it to the master board, and it's in their hands, and for the stop signs and the crosswalk. And then we got together, we got the questions together. There was 8 questions. Some of them were simple, but some of them were like you said, speed humps, and not gates, because we don't even know if a gate can be put in here. We don't know that. And we don't even know about the gate. So what we thought about, why don't we find out, I've asked questions, have we hired an architect or an engineer to see if we could have one done? And no one said that we could. I haven't heard that we said we could. I've heard rumors that there was somebody, Lance Murphy might have looked into it and found out stuff. So we were setting the proposal out. In order to go further with this, we have to have a vote to see if anyone's even interested in getting a gate. And then if we do, then we could try to find an architect and see what it would cost to determine if we can have. They might say, no, the property might be owned by somebody. I don't know. So that's the way we kind of looked at it that way. During the summer, I got some emails from people from Cranbrook, Andover. People were approaching me at the end of the summer because we were getting a lot of people fishing, a lot of people trespassing, and they were asking for a gate. So just feeling it out, I did talk to an architect and engineer who's locally here in Naples, built Alamo Gun Club. He built a hotel down the street, but I had to stop him because I said, well, we can't hire you until we know if the public could even look at if the residents want to vote for it to see if we want to do it. So as we were talking, I suggested to our committee about maybe if we create a hurricane prep kit list. Because I was here in October and I was trying to figure out what I need in my condo to make it through. I don't know how long I'll be out of it. So I talked to different people. We all talked to different people. We did some research. I talked to the Collier County Sheriff's Office. They didn't have too much. The local Collier County they had a little bit, but it wasn't great. Committee, we sent it out. Pam was a lead, and everyone worked on it. Everybody in our committee worked, and we ended up creating a two-page hurricane prep list, and we're going to hopefully distribute it online or getting ready for everybody. It has everything. I'm so proud of these people the way they did this. This has everything. It has every contact, everybody that you want to talk to, and everything you're going to possibly need to survive in a hurricane. Let me go back to my questions. They snuck out of me. So I said, okay, we created we did send a thing about the crosswalk to the master board. We did have James Spatz come in the 12th. Deb was kind enough to set up an informational crime prevention, but we didn't get a great response. But the next day, Jim Spatz, who's a local corporal, he's a community service officer, he came and met us at our meeting and he went over the possibility of starting a criminal home watch area, but it looks like it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take more work than we could really do right now. So we might not be going forward with that. He did tell us that, speeding is a problem. It's going to be everywhere. In Arrowhead, they hired the sheriff's office to do speeding, but they were getting local residents. They weren't getting people that were just coming and off, and people were complaining about that. He did say that crime is very good here. It's not, a few 911 calls, dropped 911 calls. But no major crime, no crime that actually could be reported about, and just trying to make it less attractive for bad guys to come in here. I think I've said this many a times. If you see something, say something, and lock your doors, lock your car doors, and lock your condo doors, and try to know your neighbors. Learn to know your neighbors. We put together the sticker program. I thought that was going to be the easiest of the all, but it's not working out well for us. We have to fine tune it some more, but we just found out that Newell is really not. Last year they were very interested. They said they would collect all the information from the 3 communities that they control, but now they are kind of skeptical about doing that. They're actually not even really interested in doing it, which to me is crazy. I don't know how we don't know who's supposed to be here at any given time living in one of our condos. To me, it's nuts. It's just, trying to think of, okay. Oh, then I was asked, I was asked by one of the residents for us to start thinking about down Royalwood Boulevard. When a car's parked on the car and residents coming out of the car, sometimes it gets real tight. And sometimes there's landscaping companies working there, and there's deliveries. Just be careful when you're passing. Pedestrians do have the right there. But until we get this, hopefully someday maybe get the stop signs. Speed bumps, that's just an alternative. They're the common, soothing, they work. But it's not for us to decide that. It's, we're going to have to let the public, you guys, the residents, decide if they want to do that. The camera system, it's still working. They've enhanced it. Every time I've got an email or call about someone trespassing, or maybe Amberley, we just got some recent over a couple of weeks about maybe some people throwing garbage in there. Within 2 minutes, I can go on the computer, even, and most of the places that I've gotten, the descriptions were completely wrong, but I can go in there and look in there, we can figure out who the car is, and sometimes it's a resident, sometimes, hey, why did this guy come in here? He's only here one day. He came in at 7:28 in the morning, and then he's gone at 7:33 in the morning. So it doesn't come back. So I can put that, I can flag that, make an alert, so if that car comes back, it'll let us know. And let me see, I think that's mostly, so the system's read about 58,000 cars this year in the last 30 days. That's typical because we have a lot of traffic coming in. The thing that blows my mind is there's 798 hot list. A hot list is meaning a motor vehicle came into Royalwood, exited Royalwood, that's on the NCIC, it's a National Crime Institute, but we haven't got any felonies or anything. It's most likely people that someone's coming in here, Uber driver, or someone picking up somebody at the bus stop, or someone just turning around that might be unlicensed, unregistered, but we haven't had anything that really triggered them to come in here to make an arrest, which is good. And that's just about it. I think, I can't think of anything else. It's just keeping our doors locked and keep watching our neighbors, and we'll be in good shape.
Hey, Bob, just a minute. Myself and the board have been waiting to see results of the survey, and we've been going back and forth here, and we don't recall the survey ever being sent out. So, but irregardless, okay, that's probably miscommunication between both of us. So if you would get with Jessica and Debbie on Monday, we'll get that sent out, we'll get the results, and then we'll start going forward with the stop signs and crosswalks, if you would, please. And I'm sorry for our lack of oversight on that.
No, I figured it was, that's what I figured it was, and I think it was, the same thing. I thought maybe it was confusion that someone who was going to send it out, but we reviewed it, we sent it to the board, and then we were supposed to send it to Deb and then send it out.
Well, we will correct that oversight,
Absolutely.
and we'll get moving on it right away. Thank you very much, and I
Thank you.
apologize.
No, thank you.
Okay, and the reports are getting shorter as we go here. I know everybody's getting tired of sitting in the room here. So, Informational Technology Committee, that's composed of Leo Gallardi, Mike Courtney, and Rick Verrier, and I sat in every meeting this year too. Leo has informed me there's not much to report on. We've pretty much covered it with the M Consulting and maybe updated Summit Broadband contract. But we did work hard on this year. The committee did, in trying to resolve some of our Summit problems. We had meetings with the representative from Summit, Carol Tickle, and I know Leo has talked to her on the phone several times. He's been out in the neighborhood with them looking at junction boxes and things that would help improve our internet and television signals. And we have agreed at the last meeting, and hopefully many of you have too, you've seen improvement in our TV pictures lately with Lux pixelation, freezing, and audio drops since they've done some of these updates here in the last month, 5 weeks. So the committee will continue to work on that, and we'll keep you informed going forward of any changes that we might have in that area. Another committee that's behind the scenes committee that we never give a report, but I'd like to thank their members for their service, and that's the Human Resource Committee, which is composed of Rick Murphy and I, and Linda Gallardi. We've used her in the past for many HR issues. So thank you, Linda, who's on that committee as well. Thank you. And Leo as well. Okay, Insurance Committee, the chairperson of that is Mr. Joe Murphy. Joe?
Good afternoon.
Or is it evening by now? I'd like to give you all just a brief update on our efforts to have FEMA rezone our flood map for Royal Wood through the acronym LOMA, which is the Letter of Map Revision. We are very happy to have just received documentation that our entire community has been changed from the AH zone, which requires mandatory insurance for all properties within the zone, to an X zone, which is not considered a flood zone for insurance purposes. Therefore, each community can evaluate their own need to continue flood coverage, since there would be no federal mandate. That's the good news. A little bit of bad news. This does not take effect until July 7th of 2025. So most of the communities will have to renew their flood insurance for the upcoming year. And if you pay it, it's fully earned, so there's no return premium if you cancel it. So you've got to let the flood policy limit out. However, I think that we need the time for each community to kind of assess and reevaluate whether or not we're going to go without flood insurance or self-insure or any other options out there, maybe private insurances. So it gives you some more time to get together and assess the situation. So I think it's also good for our property values, since new owners coming in will not be required to have expensive mandated flood insurance. And so it's overall good news. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary.
Thanks, Joe. Okay, I just want to recognize another committee here that never gives a report, usually at a board meeting, but that's the Rules Violation Committee. And that's chaired by Chris Albert, and members are Charlie Keller and Seth Foley, and Bob Fry has been the board liaison to that committee as well. So this is not a pleasant job that they have to do from time to time, but their efforts and the work they do for Royal Wood is appreciated. So thank you to the Rules Violation Committee. And next report will be from the Social Committee, Diane Azera. And happy birthday yesterday, Diane. Happy birthday yesterday.
And Gary, thank you for your service to the board. And also, I'm honored to know that you probably saved the best for last. Okay, I want to give you a little bit of history on the Social Committee and how we formed. We started right after COVID and right after construction. And at that time, we had very few activities going on here at the clubhouse. So our focus was really to get people back in here and get events going and get theme parties going, and that's what we worked on. And then came along Vicki and Ogene, and they have just picked up the role on that, and that now allows us to focus more on social things. So this year, what we've added a few new things. We added the trolley tours that went to see the lights in Victoria Station and all over Naples. We added cornhole tournaments, and we added musical in the courts. Plus, in addition to that, we supported the Christmas celebration here. We had Santa come, and we helped with the holiday market and the Christmas decorations. We just had a fabulous time doing it. Coming up, we have this Friday, the trip on Sweet Liberty. We have exactly one seat left. So if you're sitting there thinking, why didn't I sign up, please, now is your chance. And also, if you're also thinking, boy, I'd like to go on that, please sign up for the wait list, because between now and Friday, a lot can happen. Next Sunday, we're having a cornhole tournament here, and unless I get more people signed up for that, we're going to have to cancel it. I'll have to cancel it by Thursday. I want to say that, let's see what I have here. Mike Fahili and Sean Doherty, they're already signed up to defend their title because they were the winners last time. So I hope you'll find someone, get a partner, and sign up for the cornhole tournament Sunday, and we're having happy hour during that. April 10th, there's going to be an Echo Bay pontoon ride. You can pack a small cooler, and this will be a guided sunset tour through the Rookery Bay. Please watch for the e-blast when Jessica sends them out. You have to sign up on the website. This is limited to just 24 people, so if you would go normally on this trip by yourself as a non-member of the conservatory, it'd be $55, but we're gonna try to keep the price under $40 for our members. The social committee also plans on holding the decorated golf cart parade May 3rd as part of the Kentucky Derby celebration. However, this is going to be contingent on having enough golf carts sign up. If you haven't been here for this, it's a lot of fun. You sign up for a golf cart, decorate it, and go in the parade. There's prizes, and this year it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be able to register on the website, so you don't have to go to the pro shop. This is also fun to watch, and you can socialize and meet your neighbors. After the parade, there's going to be a derby party up here, and the social committee will be sponsoring the selling of the squares for the race and the ladies' decorated hat contest. Everyone's invited to come up and watch the race with us. Let's see. We do all of this for you, and all of our events we try to provide at no expense to the club. And at the same time, we like to get you a group rate. So it's a nice thing to go with a group. So if you don't want to go alone, join us. I'm going to give you an online assignment. When you get out of here tonight, there will be a survey on your internet, on your email. And it will have a list of things that the social committee has come up with that we're considering for next year. But a lot of these things require a little bit of organization, and we want to make sure they're things that you're interested in. So if you'd be so kind as to fill out that survey and send it in, it's going to be a big help to us. And if you have other ideas, especially ideas that you have personally enjoyed yourself, please let me know. I have something on my wish list, and I didn't hear the Facilities Planning Committee speak of it. I wish, and I believe that the whole of Rollwood would benefit by adding a dance floor in this room. I think we could use this area so much more. Thank you. I will close now by recognizing your social committee members. Pat Bednar, Judy Carlson, Janet Fahili, Paula Fazell, Donna Haggart, Diane Healy, Patty Lincoln, who is my marvelous co-chair, Patty Lumbell, Andrea McDermott, and Judy Majors. Special thanks to Angela Tedeschi, who has been in charge of organizing our holiday market that takes place in here. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Diane. I'm not sure if the next committee has a report. Tennis committee. Chris, do you have a report? No. Nope, okay. Well, just for the record, the tennis committee is composed of the president and treasurer, Chris Ludwig, vice presidents Donna Haggett, social chair is Mary Lutz, coordinators Jen Sherman, Hildegard Carney is the membership chair, Don and Luffy and Ray Fern are the captains of the men, Mary Lutz is the Monday scheduler, and Chris Ludwig rounds out the field with the ladies scheduler and the team reach and the Friday scheduler as well. So thanks to the tennis committee for all their hard work this year and a great season here at Royal Wood. There's only one committee left, and I guess that's mine, and that's the Golf Course Renovation Committee. That's basically, it's only me and Course Superintendent Ori Andrews is a member of it as well, because the timeline is rapidly approaching. Probably next month for this committee will have to be formed, and we'll make preparations for 2028. We were supposed to have a meeting a couple of weeks ago with Mr. Wetchell. He was part, or is part, of the Mike Hurdizan architect group. If you recall, Mike Hurdizan was the one that designed this course and many other courses down here in Southwest Florida and in Naples, and especially one extremely nice golf course. I know we have the best golf course here, I'm sorry, but Naples National over here, you might have heard about it. Dr. Hurdizan designed that course too. So we're going to have a meeting with him here in about a week and a half. One earlier this month had to be rescheduled due to a death in the family. So anyway, we're going to listen to what he has to say. And Ori is telling us, as long as we like what we hear from him, this going with Mr. Wetchell will be the best way to go, because he's familiar with the golf course and the plans, and it would be significant cost savings to go with an existing architect group compared to going to a new one starting over. So as soon as we have that meeting, we'll report back to you, and the new board hopefully will have a renovation committee assembled by that time, and we'll get working on 2028. Also, one small item that Jim McEachern left off in his small report was recognizing Jeff Johns. Previously to this year, Jeff Johns was the three-time club champion here at Royal Wood. And since his handicap was low enough, he got to participate in the PGA National Club Championship tournament that was held about a week and a half ago up in Georgia. Jeff placed 34th out of 78 competitors in his flight, and I'd like to thank Jeff for representing Royal Wood and showing them what a little Southwest Florida golf is all about in Georgia. So thanks, Jeff. Okay, next up is new business. Is there any new business for the board to consider at the annual meeting? Okay, there is no new business. We also have no old business pending. So we're going to move on to the last part of the meeting, and I got to stand up for this, sorry. As has been mentioned several times here before, this meeting is a transition for the board, and there's two master board representatives stepping down. So, Mr. Fry, front and center, please. Bob has been the Cranbrook representative for the last 2 years. His contributions to the board has been immeasurable, especially work with the Rules Violation Committee, and I'm escaping me, what's your other committee assignment?
Insurance.
Insurance, that's right. So we had that great report from Joe. So I would like to thank Bob for his service to Royal Wood, and as a token of our esteem, a framed Royal Wood flag to mark his service. Do I have it upside down? There we go, just like that. So, thanks, Bob.
Thank you very much. I love this place, and it's been a real experience working with these men, and every person here works tirelessly to make this a better place every day. So thank you very much. Thank you, Gary.
Okay, that's it for me. You don't do this job for a couple of years without thanking a few people. As past presidents know, this takes up a big part of your time. Past presidents, I haven't seen you all here today, that I've been friends with here a lot of years: Dennis Fury, Ryan Smith, Mike Finley, Jim Krasowski, Jerry Raley. They understand how tough this job is and how much time it actually takes. But I got to give a few thank yous out, and the first thank you is to my wife, Mindy. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. We kind of nicknamed our condo in our home in Illinois Norbaum Central the last couple of years. Because I can't tell you how many times we've been seated at our kitchen table, dining room table, on the opposite sides with our laptops in our faces doing work for Royal Wood, as well as in our chairs in our living room or our great room. So thank you, Mindy. And Mindy has been as president of the Ladies 18 Golf Association as well the last 2 years, and she's retiring next month too. So we may have some more time to do a few more things here in the community and have some more fun. So thank you very much, Mindy. I love you. Thank you to our current and past board members. Thank you for your hard work, your dedication, and your leadership to make Royal Wood a great bundled community here in Southwest Florida. Thank you for everything you've done as well. I would like to thank our committee chairs, like I mentioned earlier, and all our committee members. You're what makes this place hum. You set the table for everything that happens in Royal Wood. So thank you for all your hard work as well. Really got to thank our staff, and especially our administrative staff. Debbie, Jessica, Seth, and Vicki. Thanks for putting up with me the last 2 years. I know sometimes I try not to be too demanding, and I try not to take too much of your time, but you've done a great job making my job as easy as it can be and enjoyable as well. So thank you very much. Most importantly, I'd like to thank all of you. Thank you for your support the last 2 years. You know, the best part of being the president of this club is you get to meet many people here that you necessarily wouldn't cross paths with. And that's been the best blessing of me as being president of this club, is having a lot of great and maybe spirited conversations with all of you the last 2 years. So thank you for that, and thank you for your support. You know, I love Royal Wood, and I wish the best for this community. Thank you. Okay, that's enough. Between the fabulous gifts and all your well wishes, thank you. So at this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Vice President Rick Verrier for the conclusion of the meeting. Rick?
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary, and as I speak for the board to now, I surely want to thank you for your guidance. Most people on TV and coming to these meetings see what he does here, but behind the scenes, his effort is tremendously appreciated in guiding the board members in being successful these past 2 years. Thank you, Gary. Okay, so I will be brief because we're going to seat these new members, and I believe there's food available outside after the meeting, so I know probably most of you are hungry because it's past dinner time. So I would like to call up first from Amberley, Jeff Clark, and introduce you to Jeff Clark, our new board member from Amberley. Thank you, Jeff, for joining. And second is from Cranbrook, our, I guess, club champion, Tim Shields. Okay, at this time, we're going to have selection of new board positions here at the board. And I know if you want to leave, you can leave quietly, because this is kind of not very exciting. But if you'd like to stay, certainly stay. I know if you want to get a head start on the buffet, then so be it. Tim, if you and Jeff want to sit down after your congratulatory thing, and Bob, did he leave? Bob, thank you. I thought he sticks around for the rest of the meeting.
No, he's gone.
Can I? Yeah. Okay, so for those of you who are sticking around for our election of officers, which you'll probably see on the website very shortly anyway, so you don't have to stick around, because it is a board meeting to elect by board members. So Tim and Jeff, if you join us up here. Should I have joined the other meeting before starting this meeting? Okay. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn our previous meeting, the 2014 annual meeting, 2025 annual meeting.
So moved.
Rick Murphy, so moved. Mike Feely, seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned. And then secondly, now, Debbie, you ready? We'll call to the meeting of order for the election of new board members. So first, we would like to nominate and elect our following president. Do I have any motions for president? Jamshed nominates Rick Murphy for president of the board. Any comments? Mike Feely seconds the motion. Welcome, Rick, president of the board. Okay, second would be a nomination for vice president of the board. Do we have anybody that would like to nominate someone here? Jamshed would like to nominate Mike Feely as vice president of the board. Do I have a second? Mr. Jeff Clark seconds the motion. The motion is moved. Mike Feely is the vice president of the board for 2025-26. Okay, now we have the master board treasurer. Rick Murphy will step down. He's done a great job in the finance of it, so we are seeking a new treasurer.
As much as I would like to do both jobs, I can't. So I would like to nominate Mike Murphy for treasurer.
Rick Murphy nominates Mike Murphy. Can I have a second on that, please? Second. Mike Feely seconds the motion. Okay. And then the thankless position of secretary of the master board, since Mr. Mike Murphy will be moving on to treasurer. Do we have a nomination for secretary?
I nominate Jeff Clark.
Okay, Mike Feely nominates Jeff Clark. Do I have a second on that motion?
I'll second the motion.
Tim Shields, a new board member from Cranbrook, has seconded the motion. Okay. Well, that completes our board business this afternoon of electing new officers and looking forward to the next season. And the next meeting will be April 14th. 14th.
No.
No, look on your calendars, you'll find it. But thank you again. All in favor of the meeting adjourned?
Aye.
The meeting is adjourned. Good job, Rick.
Thanks, guys. Sorry? I don't think so.
Did you have, well, I have to appoint somebody else.
I already have your meeting tomorrow. I know there's a meeting tomorrow for ARC, so I don't know if I should. Your committee? All of the other committees. Yes, because that was already done in January. So Mike is on. No, not till January.
He doesn't, you don't need approval. Which was the
Get stuck in the little sandbox, not the sandbox.
Yeah, that's why we do all the committee appointments. So
Plenty of time to campaign.
Yeah, congratulations, welcome aboard.
Didn't I teach you anything?
Yes, Gary.
I don't know too well.
Debbie, thank you. Thank you, sir. Good job.
The scoundrels, they didn't come to the meeting, they're out there eating all the food.
Oh, no. You're going to do it. Congratulations.
Don't worry. I get to sit back for the next 2 years. You'll make a good VP. Or treasurer, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, right, I know it.
You know much about finances. I know how to spend money.
Boy, look at all this stuff.
Hey, Gary, I didn't have that too
Out of the chat.
I put it on the bottom.
Oh, thanks. I got through the end is gonna be hard.
And now it's just the beginning.
Gary?
I love it.
Uh-oh.
Holy
You go, my friend. You earned it.
presidential man.
There's a new name on it, though, the ex-presidential.
Ex-presidential.
That was a tough one. I told her before the meeting, this is the most nervous I've been for this job. Oh, I knew it was going to be. I knew it was going to be tough. Especially when I talked about Blondie there. I had a hard time with her. Hey, enjoy your time. Well, I hope so.
Oh, yeah. Planning on it.
I hope so.
Very gracious.
Yeah, that's mine. I gotta put some stuff in. Thank you, Gina.
Oh, now you're up.
We'll be here. Always. Always.
We got a lot of, we have a lot of jobs. We have a lot of jobs figured out for me. I can tell them no on a few of them. Somebody already brought me one, so.
I gotta go.
Right off the bat.